In this video, I want to explain to you a little bit about what you can expect to receive in a wedding photography package. This is what works for my business, so this is going to be most useful to the clients of Zoe Larkin Photography. Industry standards even are subjective. They represent a diverse range of price points, levels of experience, geographical markets, and business models. Photography coverage. This is the basic core of any wedding photography package. It simply means the coverage or the number of hours that your photographer is actually present shooting on your wedding day. One important note is that it is always going to be continuous time. It's not something that's going to start and stop because you need to drive from A to B. The number of hours is agreed upon before you even sign the contract, and then the contract is drawn up to reflect that plan that we've made. Additional hours can always be added at a later date. We don't charge like an extra kind of overtime rate when you want to book those additional hours later, but be aware that some photographers might charge an overtime rate when they are spending hours that they didn't plan to. Booked hours or coverage hours cannot be reduced once booked because we are basically turning away other weddings for that same date. It makes a lot of sense because our dates are our inventory. Next one is the professionally edited photos. Now, of course, we include these in our services, as will pretty much any wedding photographer. So after the wedding, the photographer or the editing team will select all of the keeper photos. Now, when I say keepers, it's not just the best of the best. It's really any photo that has value. Usually that's, it's in focus, it has good expressions with eyes open and flattering expressions, and it isn't a duplicate or near duplicate. With the editing, they are edited for color correction overall, cropping, exposure, and other enhancements for consistency. The goal is to make them feel faithful to the moment as well as to be up to our professional standards. So the number of final photos that you receive with us is typically anywhere between 65 per hour and 100 plus per hour. My contract has a minimum of 65 per hour stipulated, but usually it's well in excess of that. Here are some factors that might affect the number of photos that you receive. The pace of your day, the weather, there's likely to be more downtime during a heat wave or heavy rain. You've packed a lot of events into a short time. The guest count, the guest interactions with the camera. And what I mean is that sometimes people would hide from the camera or ask not to be photographed, whether you are an expressive couple or more static, and also your photographer. For example, in my team, I overshoot by far the most than any of my team members, whereas the associates will vary in the typical number of files that they turn in after a wedding. Online gallery. This is of course included in our services. You may hear the term gallery, final photos, finished photos, album, used somewhat interchangeably. To put it simply, your online gallery is a beautifully presented repository of JPEG files that your photographer has uploaded. So instead of physical prints, you'll view and share and download your wedding photos via a hosted space on the internet. The gallery is a private, secure space accessible by a link and download pin. In addition, you'll have to enter your email address. This is because when you're downloading the photos, the download link will automatically be sent to the email address that you entered. So don't put someone else's or like a random email address in there. Some photographers also will add a password, but we personally do not because we want our prospective clients in the future to be able to look through easily. In your online gallery, you'll find all of your edited images neatly organized and sorted into tabs. From your gallery link, you can easily access and view your photos, share with others, and download from any device. The online store. This is something that we definitely have and love to bits and encourage you to check out when you do receive that final link. One of the primary features in your online gallery is the ability to purchase many types of physical, that is to say printed products. This may include prints, wall art, thank you and holiday cards, albums and books, and so much more. The benefit of using this online store is that it integrates with the very best print labs in your country. And these labs are only accessible to photographers. They don't sell direct to consumer. So this means that when you purchase an album through your online store, it will be of archival quality. Framed prints will have these custom made to measure mats, color corrections applied if needed, anti-reflective glare applied on the glass, and the colors will not fade so quickly in sunlight. Because of this, the prices for example, a 4x6 print is much higher than what you might pay at a Costco or a CVS. The quality will be a night and day difference, especially in the years to come. You are, however, free to print your photos at home or at a different lab or print store or online store. We just love to see photos printed and come to life. Okay, the wedding album. So this is something that we do offer, but it is at an extra cost. We actually do something maybe a little different from most wedding photographers. Our albums are designed by the customer, so by you yourself. We partner with several top quality print labs that only sell direct to photographers and their clients. And the way it works is that using this intuitive software, you'll be able to choose your own photos, lay out your spreads the way you want them, move things around, and choose all of your own customization options for the album, and then finally place the order yourself. You will even have access to your own dedicated help team via a handy chat widget in the bottom right-hand corner of every screen, which is pretty handy. And the best part is that because you're not paying for me to personally design all of your album, and you're not paying for my time to go through rounds and rounds of revisions with you, you're saving pretty big and getting a better quality product that you can find at many of these online consumer labs. So if you're interested in creating your own album, then please just ask me anytime, like it doesn't have to be right after the wedding, to set up your album store. It is something that's very quick for me to do, and there's no obligation to purchase anything. And in contrast to my fully self-service store, some photographers actually prefer to retain control over all creative aspects of how their work is displayed, including actually designing the album for the client themselves. Print release. Every photographer should give their clients a print release. This is like permitting our clients to use those photos for their personal use. So when you hire a wedding photographer, they retain copyright of those images, meaning that they own them in perpetuity, but the client can do pretty much anything with them, with a few exceptions that I'm going to outline here in just a minute. And you want to make like a giant 20 by 30 canvas, well, that's totally fine. You want to make some custom socks with your faces on them, share the link with family and friends so that they can also get access to the high-res photos and do whatever they want with them, that's also totally fine. But here are some things that are not included with a print release. The ability to use your wedding photos commercially, so for example, selling the images, permission to claim ownership or authorship of the images, permission not to recognize the author of the images, access to or purchasing rights to the raw files or unedited JPEGs. So in my business, these are not available for purchase. Those are all the things that are not included with a print release. Next point is timeline assistance. Timeline assistance from a wedding photographer is like having a seasoned event professional in your corner, because so many of the big events are actually set around photography. The truth is that you have limited time and you want to make sure that the photos that you want to get out of the day are captured, ensuring that there's enough time for everything that is important to you. I will say it definitely helps to have a photographer who has hundreds of weddings under their belt, because that way you can be assured that they know how things run, so they're able to give you the benefit of their experience. And offer bespoke assistance as well. That's an important part of this. It isn't just about putting everyone through the exact same routine. So this doesn't replace a wedding planner or a wedding coordinator. They are going to be your boots on the ground, doing the actual running around, getting things set up while we are busy snapping away. The expert guidance is really, really key to determining that wedding day flow and rhythm, so that we are just free to capture the moments as they unfold. Pre-booking consultation. Is this included in our services? It is available and it is complimentary, but it is not usually necessary. So most photographers actually do offer the chance to meet either in person or usually these days virtually before you book. Some even require it just to ensure that it is a good personality fit and there are no red flags. But here at Zoe Larkin Photography, I've chosen to invest my time and resources into content which largely precludes the need for a pre-booking consultation. So instead of an hour-long call that takes up the best part of an evening, then I created a concise 8-minute video which gives you all of the information that you need before you book. That is different for whether you are booking a city hall wedding or a regular wedding. My reputation with hundreds of reviews, all 5 stars, past galleries, videos, blog posts, social media proof, and all the guides that you'll receive when you inquire. This gives you the information that you need in order to allow us to collaborate asynchronously, and also just before you even book, to to figure out, okay, is this the photographer for us? However, the option for a phone call, video call, or just like to have a vibe check is definitely there. So if you really, really want to do that, then just let me know and we can set it up and I'll give you the link to my Calendly. Pre-booking consultations, though, are not offered for just simple City Hall ceremonies because my services there are very templated. But for regular, more complex events where you are having a full day of photography, you will have the chance to go through everything with me on a timeline run-through call, which I typically hold about 4 to 6 weeks before the wedding day. This is nearly always my first time, quote unquote, meeting the couple. It helps to just add a little bit of familiarity so we're not just absolutely meeting cold for the first time on the wedding day. And if you've booked an associate photographer, your intro meeting with them and the timeline run-through call are combined into one session. Additional hours. So additional hours can be added to the base package either on the wedding day or any time in the run-up to the event. For full day weddings, so what you might call a traditional wedding, 95% of our couples find that 8 hours is enough for them. That figure of 8 hours is our minimum for summer, weekend, peak season weddings. And additional hours are also continuous when they are added to the base package or to the package that you've already booked. These additionally cannot be split up into separate days or with, hours in between. Second photographer. Is this included in any of our packages? No, it is not included. Second photographers are available for pretty much any type of wedding, subject to some minimums. So a second photographer is an additional professional photographer present on the wedding day and shooting alongside the lead photographer. I have a full guide actually on whether you need or might need a second photographer. A second photographer is most valuable when one or more of the following conditions are met. So the two partners are getting ready in far apart locations. You don't want to spend hours of the timeline with getting ready photos, so you want to do them simultaneously instead of stacked. You'd like different angles of the same thing. For example, the bride's face as she walks down the aisle and also the back of the long train from behind. There are events that are going to be taking place simultaneously. For example, once at a wedding, the second photographer had to shoot all the reception details as soon as the room was set up while I photographed the first look and the couple's portraits, so I just could not have done both of those things. You are not having a first look and would like photos of cocktail hour, mingling and guest candids, while the lead photographer captures the formal, family and wedding party groupings and romantics too, potentially, depending on the time of year. You have a guest count of over approximately 120. Your planner advises it would be necessary given the logistics of your day. It is your personal preference to capture every moment. A second photographer will greatly increase your final photo count. Engagement shoot. Is this included in our services? This is not included in our services, but it is available for an extra cost. Some will include engagement shoots in their packages. They'll typically put this as complimentary because they don't want a dollar value to be attached to the engagement shoot, so that when the couple says, hey, we don't want the engagement shoot, there isn't a way for them to subtract any money off of the package price. But the engagement shoot is a fantastic opportunity to get comfortable in front of the camera. You have a lot of time on the engagement shoot day as opposed to the wedding day. So it's nice to get some informal shots as well as formal shots, but with zero pressure. So with my services specifically, whether you are booking an associate photographer or you're booking me for your wedding, you can choose to have the same photographer for your engagement, or you can mix it up. So for example, you don't have the budget to have me shoot your wedding, but you do want to have me shoot your engagement. That totally works. Engagement shoots with us last an hour and a half, which is pretty typical. You can opt to do one location or two locations provided they are a short distance apart, and you would simply add time to the 1.5 hour package if that wasn't quite enough for you. And I have a detailed blog post and a video introducing you to my engagement photography services that I will link below, or you can just find it elsewhere on this channel. Sneak peek. Is a sneak peek included in our services? It is not included, unfortunately, but it is available for an extra cost. A sneak peek in the wedding photography realm is like a delicious teaser before the full feast. It's a small but carefully curated selection of photos from a range of different parts of your day. With my services, you'll receive within 1 week of the wedding. Some photographers will promise to have your sneak peek the next day, within 3 days. within 2 weeks, within a month. It really, really varies. So this is something that you'll want to check with your photographer, especially if you're planning on sending out thank you cards with those photos or making an announcement on social media. So as you can imagine, if I'm just trying to get that sneak peek out of the door as quick as possible, I'm not also going to pay for someone else to retouch them or to do extensive work myself within Photoshop. So only photos with minimal editing needs are actually selected to be included in the sneak peek, and that is the only way that I can process them in a timely manner and in a cost-effective manner as well. So I prepare all of the sneak peeks myself, regardless of who your photographer is. I pride myself on choosing a selection of images from the different parts of the day, so aspects, different times, different people that are going to be shown in the photos, really just showcasing some of our favorites as well, our like skills, and just to also have the security of knowing that yes, every part of the day has been captured well. It's only 20 images that we promise, and I usually include like anything between 20 and honestly like 70 for like a really big wedding where I just cannot cut it down any further. But you will definitely get more than just, you know, like an Instagram post where you get 10 photos. Some photographers may also offer and charge for the following items: bridal sessions, boudoir sessions, rehearsal or welcome dinner coverage, raw files, photo booth, additional edits, for example, in different styles, day after session, travel, and fees may apply beyond the home zone, taxes depending on the state, and even the business model. We do not offer any of these items, except I do welcome travel and additional coverage for events like welcome dinners where available. And coverage, just so you know, by an associate photographer may be offered if I am not available personally. So in conclusion, the wedding photography package is designed to provide comprehensive coverage of your special day. Over the years, we've realized that packages are not one size fits all, and an a la carte system is the only way to ensure you're getting what you need without paying for superfluous extras. These are the memories that you're going to cherish for a lifetime, so make sure you're happy and that you understand what the package includes. Be sure to discuss your expectations with the wedding photography business that you've chosen to ensure you're getting exactly what you want. Pretty much every photographer out there welcomes questions, and we're always happy to help. I really hope this provided more of an insight into understanding wedding photography packages, whoever you are choosing as your wedding photographer. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful or if there was anything else that I didn't address. See you guys in the next one, and thanks for watching.